My name is Luke Mennett, presenting my RTS level Roughshod, built in StarCraft II. My level is a 1v1 melee map, built with the final expansion, Legacy of the Void, making it playable with all races. Due to my unfamiliarity with StarCraft II, I spent a lot of time studying existing levels, especially those noted as being favorites among the community, to better understand what a good map looks like. One thing I quickly picked up on is resource spread. StarCraft II has a large emphasis on multitasking and planning ahead, so there are normally several resource veins around the map, so players can begin operating on different fronts. Resource veins also must adhere to a very specific formula: 8 mineral clusters with 2 Vespene geysers. All resource veins included in Roughshod follow this pattern. The community also favors maps with a sense of elevation. Isolating an area and limiting access with ramps creates opportunities for diversified gameplay, as different races have different strategies for defending choke points and navigating terrain. By combining an isolated area with a resource vein, I made what the community dubs naturals and thirds, potential areas to set up additional bases. Choosing which resource vein to advance to is impacted by playstyle. It can have different effects on the match as a whole. The player has a choice between moving to the more sheltered space along the perimeter of the map, as I did, or pushing into the center to set up a more aggressive advance base. Regardless of what the player chooses, the community consistently favors maps that offer these choices over those with only 1 or 2 viable options for bases. My level makes fairly good use of available space. RTS games always require large swaths of land in order to construct bases, and I have created several logical areas to build bases without oversizing the map. It has several isolated areas, separated by elevation difference, with multiple entrances to each to support flanking. The fog of war, common in many RTS games, is here as well, allowing attacking units to go unseen through the map until coming close enough to strike. There is enough open space in the middle for players to come to blows when ready, should both players choose to develop their bases before mounting an offense. In addition, the map is diagonally symmetrical, so each player is at a level playing field with regards to their defense and resource opportunities. I believe that my level has an appropriate degree of complexity. Many maps derive complexity either from their shape or their elevation, but mine uses both in conjunction to heighten their effects. Players have several paths to traverse the map, either through the middle, as my units take, or around on either side. Each runs the risk of encountering an enemy base along the way, providing an added strategic element without over-designing the map. Each of the game's 3 races, the Terrans, Protoss, and Zerg, have a different playstyle, and therefore interacts with the map in different ways. As seen in the video, I use the Terrans, the jack-of-all-trades race, with mid-cost, average-strength units. I took advantage of the Terrans' ability to airlift structures by quickly making a second command center within the safety of the main base, and slowly flying it to another location to begin my natural. Doing so allowed me to gain an edge over my opponents by using something only my race could do. The other classes have different specialties, and can weaponize the map to their advantage accordingly. The rapidly developing Zerg can quickly swarm across the map, corrupting locations as they go, and the technological Protoss can make use of the isolated nature of their starting base to form an impregnable backline from which they can work on their high-cost, high-power units. In addition, different playstyles even within the same race can produce different results. While I adopt a rushing offensive style to end the game early, I have also had much different matches by setting up an advanced base system, with the mid-ground turning into a prolonged war zone once each side has their bases set up. Roughshod is able to support a wide variety of races and strategies, with each proving interesting and engaging. Since it doesn't rely on any unorthodox mechanics, my map uses artistic design as the hook. Aesthetically, I wanted my map to have a mix-and-match, put-together feeling, as evidenced by the name, Roughshod. To that end, I combined rocky textures and ice spikes with vegetation and lush grasses for a frozen and fertile arena. The contrasting design works to keep the map visually interesting, rather than being another drab box to fight in. In addition, different textures are used to denote elevation at a glance. The highest areas on the map, such as the starting locations, have a grassy texture. The less elevated middle ground is given a rocky texture, while the low ground has an earthen soil texture. This allows the map to be much more readable, with the player knowing exactly what elevation they're currently on just by looking at the floor. All in all, I enjoyed this project. Despite not having any experience with an RTS game at the beginning, I was able to gain my footing fairly quickly. The StarCraft II editor was very easy to work with, which was a godsend back when I was still working basic gameplay. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to test my design abilities with something I was a little unfamiliar with. The match I recorded for this video ended fairly quickly, so I will let it play to its end if you'd care to watch. Thank you.
Armed and ready. Woo-hoo! Overtime. Gangway coming through. Yeah. By the numbers, boys. The Grim Reaper has arrived. Oh. Who wants some? The Grim
Add-on complete.
Go ahead. You're the boss. Big job, huh? Well, it's about to get heavy. You want a piece of me, boy?
Insufficient Vespine gas. Upgrade complete.
In the rear with the gear. Oh, the Grim Reaper has arrived. This better be good. Gotcha. You gonna give me orders? You want a piece of me, boy? Ghost reporting. The Grim Reaper has arrived. Armed and ready. Let's have a blast. The Grim Reaper has arrived. The Grim Reaper has arrived. Come again. Ghost reporting. Gangway coming through. Ready to raise some hell. Who wants some? Gangway coming through. Target in my sights. Never know what hit 'em.
Additional supply depots required. Additional